What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Keelan and today we are talking about the 3 things that I did to lose 30 pounds of fat. I have a whole video planned about kind of my journey from start to finish. So like from when I was a kid to now, basically a summary of my whole life when it comes to like my weight and my body image and all of that stuff. I have a whole video like that planned and scripted, but as I was writing it, I realized it was kind of depressing and I was like, I don't want to kick this off with a depressing video. So I figured I would just start off with the 3 simple, but extremely difficult, like it's difficult, weight loss and fat loss, specifically fat loss and also weight loss, are both difficult, but like they're simple. When it boils down to it, it's simple. So these are the 3 things that I did to lose 30 pounds between October 2021 and April 2022. And now I've been maintaining that weight loss since April and it's August. So for a few months now. So the first and most important thing that I did on this fat loss journey was eat in a calorie deficit. A calorie deficit is just essentially when you eat fewer calories every day than you burn. And when I say burn, I don't mean through exercise, I mean through absolutely everything that you do in the day. So just existing, if I lay in a coma, I point here because it's my couch, if I lay in a coma all day, my body burns a certain number of calories just keeping its base functions going. I am fidgeting right now. That is burning calories. When I exercise, that burns calories. And when we digest food, that burns calories. So all of that together is your total daily energy expenditure, which is basically the total number of calories that you burn in a day, your TDEE. So the way I started to find my calorie deficit was I calculated my TDEE, and I will show you how to do that in just a few moments. I'll actually bring you onto the website where I calculated it. So I calculated my TDEE, and it's different for everybody, and it changes day to day. That's the thing. Like if you're exercising more one day, you'll burn more calories that day than if you don't. But in general, you can calculate or you can estimate your general TDEE, and then you subtract 500 calories from that. Now, why 500 calories, you might ask? 1 pound of fat is about 3,500 calories. So if you're eating 500 fewer calories every single day than you burn, within a week, that is a 3,500 calorie deficit, which is equal to 1 pound of fat. So theoretically, if you are eating in a 500 calorie deficit, so 500 calories fewer than your TDEE, you should lose about a pound a week. Now, I didn't stick with that the whole time through because I ended up increasing my activity throughout. And so because of that, I ended up having to readjust my TDEE, and I was actually able to eat more calories because I was exercising more. But we'll get into that in step number, I suppose, 3 of the 3 things that I did to lose 30 pounds. So this is the calculator that I use to calculate my total daily energy expenditure. There are so many of these online, honestly, just pick one. They might all spit out something slightly different, but it should be quite similar. So I'm going to go in here and just include everything that I put down in here. There's all of these ages here because I was experimenting with some stuff to see, like, I don't know what my TDEE would be if I were 93 or something like that. But I was actually 28 when I started this journey. I'm 29 now, so I'm going to put in all of my stats when I started the journey. So I was none of these weights. I don't even know where my weight is. So when I actually started calorie tracking, I was 179 pounds, although I did start my journey in the 180s. And now I'm 30 pounds down, so I'm very comfortably in the 150s, which is a healthy weight for my height. But I started calorie tracking when I was at 179. So I'm going to put 179 in here. And then I'm going to put my height, 5'6", and I'm going to use sedentary because the exercise calculators on here can be really inaccurate, and I'll kind of explain how I go about getting around that later on. So, and I don't know my body fat percentage. I mean, I know it now, but at the beginning I didn't know it, so I'm just going to do this. So as you can see, this calculator is spitting out that my maintenance calories are probably around 1,870 calories a day. And when I started my weight loss journey, I was quite sedentary. So it was very much between 1,800 and 1,900 calories. A way you can verify if this is around your maintenance calories or not, because this is just a calculator. It's just an estimate. It might not be correct for you. It's going to depend on your body fat percentage, your muscle percentage, your activity level, etc. So one of the ways you can verify whether this is close to your actual TDEE or not is just try and eat this for a week, for 2 weeks, and see what your body does. Do you gain weight? Do you lose weight? If you lose weight, it's your TDEE is obviously more than this number. If you gain weight, then it's obviously less than this number. So that's a really easy way to verify this calculator. So to start my journey, my TDEE was 1,870 calories per day. I didn't subtract 500 from that. I subtracted around like 450, and basically I kind of just rounded to 1,400 calories a day, because 1,400 calories a day was almost a 500 calorie deficit. So that's what I decided to eat every single day. So I basically took this number, subtracted around 500, and got the number 1,400 calories per day. Now, I am not recommending that that's what you eat if you have the same stats as me. Like I said, everybody is different. This is just what I did. But this was back when I was sedentary. So I kept having to reevaluate my TDEE as my activity level increased. So one of the interesting things about your TDEE is it's fluid, right? So as you age, as you lose weight, it changes. So let's just take my current age and weight, for example, and see what it is at sedentary. So I'm around 150 pounds, and let's put in 29. So at sedentary, my TDEE should go down because I am smaller and I am older. So it should be less. Yes, it's almost 200 calories less. So as you can see, if I did no exercise right now, my calories are a lot less, almost 200 calories less than they were 30 pounds ago, because I am a year older and also 30 pounds lighter. So as you age, your metabolism kind of slows down. And also as you lose weight, you're just smaller. Your body has to do less because you're smaller. So your calories go down. So as you can see, if I were sedentary right now, which I am not, I have a very high activity level. But if I was sedentary, I would have to be eating fewer calories to maintain this weight. So that was the first thing that I did to lose 30 pounds, is I ate in a calorie deficit. Now, one of the interesting things that I learned on this journey is that weight loss and fat loss, while very much related, are not the exact same thing. So with weight loss, your body composition is not really changing. You're losing fat, you're losing muscle, you're losing kind of everything, and you're not trying to specifically target fat. You're just losing weight. And if you eat in a calorie deficit, that will do that. You will lose weight eating in a calorie deficit. Obviously, there might be some medical things that prevent that, but in general, you will lose weight if you're eating in a calorie deficit. But what I specifically wanted to do was fat loss. I wanted to lose fat and maintain or even gain muscle, which I ended up gaining muscle, which is awesome. So I wanted to specifically lose fat because I wanted physique. I wanted, my muscles to pop. I had specific physique goals, I suppose. And just eating in a calorie deficit, sure, it might lead to mostly fat loss, but you could lose some muscle too. So I was trying to preserve as much muscle as possible. So that's why I was kind of pursuing the fat loss over the weight loss approach. So there were two other things that I did to make sure that I was targeting fat loss, not just general weight loss. The first thing, or I guess the second thing that I did to lose 30 pounds, but the first thing that I did to make sure that I was losing fat and not muscle, was I prioritized eating protein. Now, some people are really strict with their macronutrients. I butchered that pronunciation. For me, I was not going to be crazy about tracking my macros, but all I wanted to do was prioritize protein. So protein goals will vary person by person, and depending on what your goal is. My goal was 100 grams of protein a day, and later on in my journey, I actually upped that to 130 grams of protein a day, but that was my protein intake goal. So I prioritize protein because it helps maintain your muscles as you lose weight, and I was also working out and it helps with muscle recovery. And that brings me to the third thing that I did to lose 30 pounds of fat, not just 30 pounds of fat, was I got on a workout plan. Now, most people will say if you want to lose fat and maintain or gain muscle, you have to lift weights. And I'm not arguing with that, because lifting weights is great for maintaining and building muscle. Like, I'm not arguing with that. True. Good point. Good point. But I personally hold the belief that any exercise routine that you can do consistently, whatever it is a good exercise routine. So I will never be one of those people to like shit on a particular exercise routine. If you like it and you enjoy it and it's like not putting you in harm's way, go for it. Absolutely go for it. And doing that routine is better than doing no routine. But like I said, it's fairly well known that like lifting weights or any kind of strength training, it doesn't necessarily have to be lifting weights, but strength or resistance training will help you keep that muscle on, or will even help you build muscle. So I got on a workout routine and I knew I just had to do something that I liked, that I enjoyed, and that I was going to do consistently. And I found boxing. And I fell in love with boxing. I knew the class atmosphere would suit me well because I like having the instructor, the coach, the motivator, really help push you along. I wanted to learn a new skill. Honestly, really therapeutic to hit things. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Smash a bag, it is awesome. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. So I got addicted to boxing pretty quickly, and a good thing is part of these boxing classes, a lot of the times we did do some strength training, whether it be at the beginning or the end. Sometimes we lifted weights, etc. And to kick off my weight loss journey, I started going about 4 or 5 times a week. And eventually I went a lot less than that because I went on vacation for 2 months. And then I came back and in February started boxing again really seriously because we were also locked down in Ontario, and basically you could not, like, gyms were closed until February 2022. December did they close? Well, January, February 2022. Everything was closed because of COVID. You could not go to the gym. So it just so happened I was away for the majority of those 2 months. And then when I came back, I had 2 weeks gymless, and then I got back into the gym in February. But I have been pretty consistent with boxing since October. But then when February hit, I got super into it. I was doing like 6 or 7 classes a week. I was weightlifting once or twice a week, and I was running 5 kilometers 3 times a week. Like, I was so into it, okay? Like, I don't train that much anymore. I probably train 6 times a week, maybe 7 times a week boxing. I don't do as much running. I got shin splints, got injured, etc., etc. But I was loving it, and overtraining is a real thing, by the way. Like, just so you know, you do not have to go to this level of training to lose weight or lose fat. Like, me personally, in high school, I was a competitive swimmer. I'm used to this level of training, I suppose. Like, I grew up with it. I was in the pool 7 to 9 times a week. I was doing dry land twice a week. Like, I did cross-country running. Like, it's just, I suppose it comes a little bit naturally to me. But so I upped my training, and this is where I want to tie things back to the first thing that I did to lose weight, which was eat in a calorie deficit. When you're training at that intensity or at that level, your total daily energy expenditure is going to go up. You are going to need more calories. So one of the things that I had to do throughout my fat loss journey was I had to recalculate or recalibrate my total daily energy expenditure. And so this is how I did it, just to give you a bit of an idea. All right, so jumping back into the calculator, this is how I recalibrated when I was thinking that my TDEE was changing because of my increased activity level. So we're just gonna go in and we're gonna put in all my stats here. We're gonna put in 150, and my height is 5'6", obviously that's not changing. And so here we have different activity level options. So these calculators get more and more inaccurate as we estimate activity level, because heavy exercise, the way it's quantifying that is 6 to 7 days a week. But if I'm not going super intense some of those days, then maybe it's more moderate. It's just harder to estimate your calories when you start putting in exercise. So we're just going to pick one. I mean, I work out 6 to 7 days a week, and I know what my total daily energy expenditure is right now because I have been eating at maintenance since April. So for the past May, June, July, August, I've been eating at maintenance and not gaining or losing weight. So we'll see how close this is to accurate. So it is saying for heavy exercise, I need to eat 2,453 calories per day. And that is actually really close. I estimate my TDEE to be around 2,500 calories a day. I can eat 2,500 calories a day right now and not gain or lose any weight. So I would say this is pretty accurate for me. However, the way that I verified this was this would give me a recommendation, and then I would take a break of being on a calorie deficit, and I would just eat this for 2 or 3 weeks, and I would see what my weight did. If my weight went up, then obviously it's too much. If my weight went down, then obviously it's too little. And then once I established what my TDEE was, I would go back on my deficit. I'd subtract 500 calories a day from this, or 250, or maybe even a little bit more if I wanted to lose weight faster, maybe even a little bit less if I wanted to lose weight really slowly, and then I would proceed on my calorie deficit. But this is actually, I'm surprised, this is actually pretty accurate. I haven't been on this calculator in a while, and I'm pleasantly surprised at how accurate it is for my current calorie intake. So I have been, for the past 4 months, eating about 2,500 calories a day and have been maintaining my weight just fine. So working out has played a huge role in my ability to eat more calories, which means I get to enjoy more food, and I love food, so that's great. Figuring out what your calorie deficit is and one that suits the amount of exercise that you're doing, because you don't want to be tired, you don't want to be fatigued, is really important. So if you're embarking on a fat loss journey and you start to lose weight, but your exercise is ramping up, make sure to take some time to figure out what your new total daily energy expenditure might be, because you don't want to be under eating, getting tired, having terrible sleeps. I'm speaking from experience. I did this by accident. I didn't know I was under eating because I wasn't hungry, and then my sleeps were awful. It was terrible. And then I, received the advice from Reddit, actually, which, I wouldn't necessarily recommend taking all of Reddit's advice, but I received the advice from a group on Reddit that I should probably up my calories. And it hadn't even crossed my mind because I wasn't that hungry, but this was overtraining and I suppose under eating combined resulted in some sleep issues. So definitely make sure that if you're starting a workout routine to recalculate your TDEE. Whenever I noticed something was a little wonky, I was losing weight too fast, I wasn't sleeping well, I would try and eat at maintenance for a period of time. So just ate what I suppose came naturally to me. And then if I gained or lost weight, I would figure out what my new TDEE was and then, get back on the weight loss journey from there. So those are the 3 things that I did to lose 30 pounds of fat. I ate in a calorie deficit, I prioritized protein, and I started working out and got really into working out. It sounds so simple, but it is so incredibly difficult. It takes up so much time, takes up so much bandwidth, and I suppose I wanted to, lose weight for a while, and I had to make so much space for it in my life. And so I really, I suppose, understand how difficult it is to make space for it in your life. Anyway, thanks so much for watching and tuning in, everyone. Really appreciate it. I know this content is totally different. I know it's totally different. I still might move it to a second channel, even though y'all voted for it to be here. But yeah, thank you for allowing me the space to share a little bit about my journey. Next week there'll be a lot more, but these were the 3 things that I did to lose fat. So I really appreciate you tuning in, and thank you so much. Catch you on Sunday, I guess, for a student life video. All right, bye everyone. Mwah.